Sup fuckers, I have returned from the hell that is completing high school, the land of drama, dank memes, and getting suspended over an okay hand. To bring you all a quote-unquote review of a shooty bang bang pew pew game by the name of Halo. Now a bit of a disclaimer, out of the many versions of the game I'm playing the version for the PC in 2004, and I'll explain why later in the graphics discussion later. But for now let's get into this. Halo was a first-person shooter released in 2001 for the original Xbox, and has been re-released a number of times over the years. The series was also originally developed by Bungie, until they ran out of ideas for their child, and passed it off to a new abusive father who only recently looked into family therapy, while Bungie has moved on to making aggressively mediocre looter shooters, with expansions that jack up the price to that of two AAA games. But this is just me bashing two companies for no reason. Let's get on to the meat of the game. The story takes place in the far-off year of 2552, where humanity is at war with an alien race, known as the Covenant, until the humans came across a giant ass ring in space that was made by a dead alien race, and houses evil popcorn assholes that eat people, and create giant mounds of shit. Now I would go more into the story, that would require effort in writing a script. Besides, the game's story is best experienced by yourself, and while it's nothing deep or all that special, it does have some rich lore that could take a whole video to discuss. But let us talk about that gameplay. The gameplay of the original Halo is very arcade-like in execution, encouraging experimentation and playing around with your options. That being said, the original game does have very limited options, even more so depending on the level you are in. However, the options at display do have a very solid feel to them, and feel like they all do the right amount of damage and all have their own place with one exception. The pistol is fucking insane. Okay, I know it's a huge meme amongst the Halo community, and is iconic in its own right, but for fuck's sake, how is a pistol better at killing the Covenant's strongest and most durable troop than literally any other gun in the game? Hell, even the rocket launcher has its issues. A fucking missile is worse at killing strong infantry than a fucking handgun. It'll let you figure that one out. Also, at least on higher difficulties, your options do feel artificially limited, as options are either situational by design due to power versus scarcity, or just plain suck due to just a lack of versatility or damage. Take for example the Needler. I'm playing on heroic difficulty mind you, and enemies have a very easy time dodging the crystal meth ammo coming out of the gun. So on heroic or higher, the only guns that feel super viable are the pistol, plasma rifle, shotgun, sniper, and rockets. The enemy types on the other hand are very classic, as with the Covenant they all have a place and serve their own functions. Grunts are what they are named, so there's not much to say. Jackals are shield-wielding enemies, making them harder to take down with head-on attacks, but in melee range, or by flanking them, they go down even easier than grunts. Elites approximate the player more in their kit, having durable energy shields and a large variety of weapons to tote around. Hunters are the Covenant's heavy assault troop, being the baddest bitches around till you pistol them in the back. We then have the Flood enemy group, and these guys royally suck by comparison. You have mutant popcorn that die in one shot, and come in huge swarms. The combat forms that slowly lumber at you with any weapon of their choice, and I do mean any. The only cool things about this enemy faction is that you do fight against the highest weapon variety and really nothing else. And lastly we have nutsacks on legs. But if I said any more about these fuckers it would devolve into a porn analysis, and I would not throw that on my YouTube channel. Lastly we got a number of vehicles in the game, and while all being good additions to the sandbox, let's just say these fuckers have aged the worst in the whole game. Why? Well, I'm just gonna turn on some Cuphead music and show you why. I shit you not, when I say you can just drive slower than a fucking snail and some poor asshole is gonna just fall over and die. This might be only one step above just breathing on a person. To kill them it's that bad. That being said, it is absolutely fucking hilarious what you can do with these things. My favorite is ramming into other players' vehicles in multiplayer. The results on display look like an uncoordinated circus act and it's complete gold to watch. Bad physics aside, let's talk about the presentation for a little bit, because there's actually a lot to say depending on the version. Like in terms of visuals aging, this is one of the weirdest I can think of. So the original's box version somehow manages to look simultaneously better and worse than the PC version. I'm about to get very technical, so sorry if you can't understand this shit. Skip to this timestamp if you are like Jimmy from BOSB and don't fucking care about anything. So on this box version, many transparent textures, bump mapping in the environment, and other graphical details underwent a severe downgrading quality when transitioning to PC. That and the bump mapping is outright gone on the PC version due to a glitch in the code. Now in a number of cases this does not affect gameplay, but does affect the visual clarity of Jackal shield durability, and it can fuck with the first time player thinking they can't destroy them. So in a nutshell, while running at a lower frame rate, resolution, and just overall lower quality, the environments actually look nicer on the OG's box vs PC. However, on PC, you can run it at much higher frame rates, and run it very easily in 4K with some mods, and holy shit, it looks sharp as hell. There's also the anniversary version released in 2011 for the Xbox 360, and is included in the MCC with most other Halo games. Now the game visually looks drastically different, and personally I'm kinda mixed on it, and a lot of other remakes that do this. Because graphically Halo CEA looks downright gorgeous, at least in my opinion it looks nicer than Halo 4. However, in terms of art direction it has lost some of the original idea, and some locations do look generally incorrect to the original, if you get the idea. But it's nothing I'm nitpicky about, and overall this is a great way to play the game. Lastly, I would like to talk about the multiplayer briefly. I don't have a whole lot to say about it as it is some pretty solid stuff, but if I were to complain about something is that, while a lot of maps are memorable and fun, some are not very good admittedly. A map like Boarding Action is a good example. Unique idea, very weird execution, and need I mention the vehicles again. Overall Halo 1, while a fairly dated game, is still fun to play to this day. If I were to be fair, you should play this game through only a handful of times, as the level design is fairly repetitive, especially in the second half, and the lesser sandbox does not really help the game's case. If I were to recommend a version in particular, I would recommend the PC version the most. While its graphics are worse and glitchier than the original Xbox by a little bit, you gain access to a massive modding community who has done frankly awesome shit with the engine, such as the fantastic SPV3 mod, which overhauls the game's sandbox and level design completely to the point where at times it's not even recognizable. And if the graphics do piss you off that much, you can always just download the Halo PC Restoration Project maps, which have done a fantastic job of repairing the visual aspects from the Xbox version. The other versions are a fine way to experience the game as well, but that's just my 2 cents. But other than that, please don't subscribe, my content is shit, and if you have subscribed or hit that like button, I'm personally gonna have to drive at you going 2 miles per hour in a fucking warthog for that decision.